Welcome everyone. I think it's another live for Football Horizon amidst the UEFA Euro 2020 within 24 hours. We are still remaining with four groups. So I think Group C and D is what we are focusing on today. As always, I have my teammates Mohit, Nayan, and Saurabh here. Welcome all of you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good Nayan, good Mohit. How are you guys?
Good, great.
I think Saurabh's video is stuck. Okay, I think let's wait for him to come back meanwhile. So Mohit, man, I think let's start with Group C.
Yeah.
So I think we have I think a new entries here. North Macedonia, I think for its first major tournament. Then I think we have Netherlands, Austria, as well as Ukraine.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be an interesting group. Maybe for the top three at least, or even maybe for the second and the third. So what do you think of this group? What do you think is the hype? What are your predictions initially, considering the entire group?
So yeah, to start off with, again, I mean, the odds-on favorite for topping this group would be Netherlands, and it will be a battle for second place between Ukraine and Austria. The thing about Netherlands this time is, I mean, since they have lost out on qualification in the last two major tournaments, that is Euro 2016 and the World Cup 2018, and this time when they come, I mean, Netherlands was famous for their strikers. They had strikers of great pedigree. They had Robin van Persie earlier, Van Nistelrooy before him, Van Basten before him. So, but this time when we see, all we can see in the forward lineup is just one person who stands out, and he is Memphis Depay. He is one of the hottest property currently in the transfer market. He himself will be looking to sort out his future before hopefully the season Euro starts. So yeah, kind of an exciting group to look out for.
Yeah,
Definitely. Netherlands would definitely top the group. If they don't, then that will be a surprise. But based on the team on paper, definitely Netherlands would top the group. It will again be a battle for second and third place. Ukraine probably edges out and probably would gain the second place over here. Looks good. Hopefully, good group to watch for.
Okay. Saurabh?
Yeah, so I think Netherlands is the team that stands out in this group. So they have emerging players like Delete and Frankie De Jong, and the recent news is that Donny van de Beek had to step out because of a groin injury. So that would be a blow for them because he adds something to the midfield. Apart from that, they have Memphis Depay, and also there's a striker called Luke De Jong. He also performs sometimes, but not consistently. So they have a pretty decent team comparing to the other three in this group. So apart from that, I think Ukraine has a chance. Also, Austria has like some players who are playing well, but because of the change in the managerial things, so they have shifted to defensive play. So they haven't been performing well since then. So I think it will be first Netherlands finishing top, and then Ukraine second, and the other two's fighting. And North Macedonia actually they defeated Germany surprisingly in the World Cup qualifiers 2-1, and that was lucky for them because that's lucky and also quite a major win for them. Apart from that, they haven't won any major games. I think that was out of luck that they won against Germany. So the other teams that they have faced till coming here, they have been like decent, like not so well heard teams. So I don't think we should expect much from this team.
I mean, when we are speaking about the recent past, Netherlands had a defeat against Turkey. I guess the score was 4-2 or something. So we are expecting them to top the group, but they will definitely miss out VVD in their defense. Van Dijk will be a big hit for them, and I mean, for sure on paper they look strong, but you never know.
No, that is again debatable because Van Dijk is of course a world-class defender, but Delete performs
But
really
the other
well.
defenders also, I mean, Netherlands looks like a more compact defensive unit.
Exactly.
I mean, it will defend in numbers and probably going ahead. I mean, in the final third, we'll have to see how Netherlands will perform. But
Yeah.
defensively speaking, Netherlands will be the group to look out for. Will be the team to look out for in the group. I am not very sure whether they'll be able to ship in any goals with that sort of a defense.
Yeah, but what's interesting is, I think they have Nathan Ake, Daily Blind, Delit, Devry. I think all of them are decent. I mean, two of them are outstanding players, and two of them had a decent season. And I think that is important. And I think Sevilla has had a good season. I think Luke De Jong had an important season as well. So if Luke De Jong and Depay can manage the forward line, I think they are serious contenders, because I think the defense is sorted for them. I think midfield is also good, because I think Gravenberch from Ajax is also decent and a very upcoming young player.
Probably they might miss Van de Beek, because Van de Beek
Yeah.
has been one player who can normally play if he is put deep down. He can play the role of a defensive midfielder. If you bring him forward, we have seen glimpses of him of how he can contribute in the final third. So he'll definitely be a big miss, because he's more of a utility player, and he can be floated anywhere in the midfield, and he'll make sure that he gives a good account of himself.
Yeah, that's true. But interesting decision by Frank de Boer today. I think after Van de Beek got injured, he quoted an important thing that to join the squad at this stage of our preparation is not exactly ideal. So what do you think? I mean, he's saying that you already been on the road for 2 weeks and he doesn't want a new player arriving. So as a manager, if you were in Frank de Boer's position, what do you think? Would you choose a replacement, or you would still stick with the same squad?
Probably that shows Frank de Boer's faith in the existing squad, and probably that we might be able to say that this is going to be a very brave decision taken by Frank de Boer, because one player, I mean, loss of one player, even as a replacement, he could have bought someone else. But yeah, I mean, on paper, it seems to be a brave decision, and it shows a lot of faith that he has in the team. And there is another indication that we can understand was probably, I mean, I might be shooting the gun over here, but since he's not picked up any replacement for Van de Beek, probably Van de Beek might not be in the scheme of things for the starting 11 for Frank de Boer.
I think he's ruled out of the entire tournament. That is for sure. But I think again, starting the lineup is quite interesting. I think it will depend on how the tournament goes. I think if Netherlands progress well, I think then we might say it was a brave decision, or else
True.
I think vice versa. I think that's about to happen. So I think
And even there is a fight going to happen between the two goalkeepers for Netherlands.
Sure. I
Over
think
the starting.
Stecklenburg and Krul.
Because they have been switched over a lot.
But
in
I
the,
guess
previous few games.
major games have been played by Krull, but he would probably be the first choice compared. I mean, going ahead, but not sure. I mean, looking at the history, both have featured in few games, so can't be sure, but kind of feel Krull would start over Stecklenburg.
And both are of similar age groups as well. So we cannot say. I mean, an older goalkeeper has to give way to a younger goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of goalkeepers, what also surprised me was that Andre Lunin, he was a second goalkeeper of Real Madrid. He's been dropped out of Ukraine squad to give space for Piato. So he's playing instead. Piato is like 36 already, and he's still playing goalkeeper. And Andre Lunin hasn't made it to the squad this Euro. That is really surprising for me. I mean, he was a young prospect who could have made it, but yeah, he hasn't made it. That was a really big surprise for me.
I think more surprising is because I think Pato had made recent consistent errors, similar to Kepa. Not to blame Kepa, but yeah. So I think similar to those errors recently, and I did not expect him to qualify. Maybe the experience, you never know. But I think that's a crucial decision, because I think Lunin is not there in the squad for Ukraine. I think coming back to Netherlands, I think De Jong will have the major responsibility to play this for the midfield. I think he has to take up the responsibility. He has had a decent season, not that quite a season considering to the Barcelona standards. I think so. I think that will be important for him. Yeah, I think. What do you think, guys, on Netherlands? Who are your 3 players to watch out for?
My 3 players to watch out for definitely will be one of the hottest free agents in the current market, Depay will be number one. Second person would be Wijnaldum. We'll have to see how he dictates the tempo of the game from the center of the midfield. And then the third person will have to be De Ligt.
Yeah, I would probably say Memphis Depay is one, De Jong would be the other one, and yeah, let's see what the new PSG guy does over here.
Yeah. So I would really look out for De Ligt. I've been watching him closely. Like I've been following Juventus matches. He's been performing really well. So he's in a great form, and he's a really good defender. So he's one to be looked out for. And Memphis Depay, of course, he's been a hot topic like lately, and he's the one to be looked out to because, and also he's a really pacey player. It's not like he will just he's a striker or something. He actually makes the runs also. So he's the one to be looked out for. And of course, De Jong is there. De Jong and Wijnaldum.
Probably Nathan Ake would again be warming the bench as he does with Manchester City.
Yeah. I think my players would be, I think, De Ligt, De Jong, and Depay. I think three crucial in midfield. I think forward and defense. So the three players to watch out for. I think we've not talked much about Austria. I mean, it's an experienced squad. I feel Austria. So I mean, they have David Alaba. I think he can play at three different positions in a world-class level. That for sure. And also we have
He'll probably be
Marco
playing in the
Arnautovic.
midfield positions. I mean, when he plays for his national team, he is more often than not been deployed as a midfielder rather than a defender.
Yeah, I think he'll mostly
Even
be
his
playing.
future is sorted, so I mean that mental baggage will not be there.
That's true. I think because he's at Real, I think it's all clear. So I think if he's played out as an attacking midfielder, that will be a very interesting position because we all know he's a pacey player. So I think that position might be crucial. And I think outside of that, I think a decent team. But I think the biggest weakness I would say is their striker Kalajic. I think he had a tremendous debut season. I think, but other than that, I don't see any other strikers being there because
Arnautovic would definitely.
Arnautovic, fiery player with fiery temper.
That's true. Yeah, I think I remember his goals at Stoke. He cannot form.
And even the midfielder, I mean, even Sabitzer has been in the news lately, saying that he wants to leave Leipzig. Probably might be looking to get in with some team from the Premier League. So even he's one midfielder, he has had a pretty decent season so far. Probably would like to carry on his form over here in the Euros as well.
Yeah, that's true. And coming back to, let's go to the new guns, North Macedonia. Any interesting? I think there's Pandey, obviously.
Pandev is there.
I
think he's the only one.
Will be probably his swan song, and it will be a fitting and for a legend of his country. I mean, he has played in various leagues, and then probably the only thing missing from his CV was probably featuring in a major international tournament. So this might be a good way to say goodbye to his career.
That's true. I think it is interesting. I think this is the beauty of football. I'm pretty sure we are sitting in India. 99% of the people would have not heard the word North Macedonia, a country like this. But yes. I think North Macedonia, most of the people would have heard India, and I think they are there. So that's there. Obviously, it's a Euro tournament, but still, I think that's the beauty of football. So I think that's it. Wrap it up. So if you have to finally say, I think Netherlands will top the group. Who do you think 2 or 3? Will it be Ukraine or will it be Austria?
It will be a battle between Ukraine and Australia for the second and third place for sure.
My money would be on Ukraine. I mean, they have an experienced coach, so let's see how we and one more player we might have missed out on discussing would be Yarmolenko. Yeah. Yarmolenko, before he joined West Ham, he had a good reputation. And based on that reputation, West Ham had signed him. But probably since David Moyes has arrived, he has not had so many opportunities to show for. But whenever he has played, more often than not, he is a good attacking player. So yeah, even he'll be one who Ukrainian fans would be counting a lot on. if they have to progress into the next round.
Saurabh, Ukraine or Austria?
So I feel like Ukraine has a better chance, considering that Austria had a very underwhelming performance in their last Euro. So it really is contingent on Austria changing their entire gameplay. So they have been using defensive tactics, so they have to change that and try to attack more. If they do that, I think they have a chance there, considering they have a good squad. But yeah, I think Ukraine has a better chance. Just doing what they do, Ukraine has a better chance. Austria has to change a little bit. Yes,
Yeah.
that's all.
Okay, I think just to leave from before moving on to Group D, what I leave is with you is I think North Macedonia, we cannot underestimate them because I mean they have defeated Germany, one thing, but they also defeated Slovenia, Israel, Liechtenstein, Austria. Also they had a pretty tough match where they just lost to one, and also they had decent draws against Poland as well.
Those teams can be considered. I mean, those matches can be considered as an upset.
Yeah. So I think if something happens, I think even
One
if
good
they
thing to do for them would be they would be coming in without any pressure because no one will be expecting them to qualify. So they might have an advantage over there for sure.
Yeah.
Probably how Iceland played in the 2018 World Cup.
I think if they get just one victory, I think that's a big deal. I think from there even they can play out draws. I think let's get to the Group D. So first question is coming home. First question, I think is it coming home this time? I think they have never won the Euros. I think they won the World Cup in 1966 when they hosted. I think it's been 55 years.
55 years, yeah.
55 years. I think they have never won the Euros. So is it coming home?
Can't be sure.
Yeah, it actually comes down to how this group will end by all the end of the matches. Interestingly, if they finish first, they'll be facing the team that finishes second in Group F, and if they finish second, they'll be facing the team that finishes second in Group E. Now, comparatively, Group E is a little bit easier for England to compete against. If they have to face any team from Group F, it will be really difficult for them.
But if they top the group, they will have home advantage because if they top the group, they will be playing in Wembley.
But again, after all, they are England.
You never know. But probably any team would prefer home advantage because the fans would be in over there for them. So that would definitely add as an advantage. And if they qualify, if they move ahead in the tournament, majority of the games they will be playing at home. So they will most of the matches they will definitely have home advantage.
Yeah, that's but let's get to the goalkeeper battle. I think it's a very interesting battle.
Right.
It was Sam Johnstone, Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson. All the three
hands down.
Henderson hands down. I think Mohit would say otherwise.
So that could be just biased, you being a Manchester United fan.
No.
Henderson would.
Yeah, of course, he's really performing.
The amount of errors that Pickford has done, in his last few outings, be it for club or country, those all will definitely come to haunt him back. And Henderson, in whatever limited opportunities that he has got at United, bar the Liverpool game, other games he has shown that he can assist even attackers. I remember one goal that Luke Shaw has scored. I don't remember the team against which he scored. The actual build-up of the goal started from Henderson himself, who threw the ball a long way, and Luke Shaw took it and finished it.
Yes, Luke Shaw ran all the way to goal.
Correct.
From left side.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yes. Correct.
Yeah, I think that would be
defense again will be sort of a gamble because I'm not very sure as to what is the fitness of Harry Maguire.
Right.
That will be a sort of concern for England.
I think with Southgate, I think back three is something which he might notice. But what do you think, back three or back four?
That depends upon
the team they're playing.
Okay.
If it's a counter-attacking team, maybe a three-man defense would do. And if it's more of a conventional playing team, probably a back four would do.
Yeah, I think they haven't, since they have a lot of fullbacks, I think they can also go with 3-5-2.
Correct. They have a plethora of options. I mean, all the fullback options are, I mean, they attack well, they defend well, and all their fullbacks are in good form. So
Yeah.
that is not a concern for England at all.
Okay. I think, and coming to the midfield, so I think there is Jack Grealish. I think, I mean, although he's a winger. So I think, I mean, who do you think Declan Rice is starting? I mean, he has had a terrific season.
Declan Rice will definitely start, and probably
Yes.
Grealish might start on the left wing, probably because we are not very sure as to how fit Rashford would be and whether he'll last the entire tournament as well. So, and if he wants, I mean, if Southgate wants Rashford to last the entire tournament, assuming that England will proceed further, probably he might have to rotate and protect Rashford.
And I mean, this is pretty interesting because if Rashford starts on the left wing and if Grealish starts on the right wing, there is Kane in the center. So now, would you choose Sterling or would you keep him out?
Sterling, I am not very sure whether he'll start. I mean, he probably might have a cameo of 5 or 10 minutes because, see, if, as you say, if Grealish starts on the right, you have another person on the right as well waiting in the wings. That's Sancho. So
Yes, right.
England has their options sorted. Sterling, after the season that he has had with Manchester City, I doubt Southgate will pick him up.
He would probably feature a couple of minutes probably somewhere, but and definitely not a starter.
And there are no minnows in this group. So, I mean, Sterling, whatever hopes he had to start, probably, I don't think so. I mean, they have all three quality oppositions. You have Czech Republic, you have Croatia, you have Scotland. All three teams that are capable of defeating England. So, on that day, Southgate will have to put in his best 11, and probably Sterling doesn't figure in that starting level.
Yeah, that's what
In the best starting level.
Yeah, and they also have Mount and Foden, who have had good seasons.
Yeah.
So, it's tough.
And they have Bukayo Saka as well. Who provides, yes.
Attacking
And-
options, they have a lot of attacking options.
Right.
I mean, see, England has always had options.
Yeah.
Yes, they always
They
have.
somehow failed to click together as a team.
And this is the team that that formed after Greenwood had to withdraw. If he was there, he would have also provided some
Correct.
extra finishing touch from the right wing.
Yeah.
So
I think, but one interesting question which I'll pass on to you guys is,
Yeah.
and DCL is there, but did Patrick Bamford deserve a chance here?
He definitely did. I feel. I mean, the kind of season he had, I definitely feel he should have been given an opportunity.
He was given the short end of a straw. I mean, DCL started off the season with a bang and then fittered away. But Bamford, even he played consistently well. He scored goals and he also allowed other players around him to get into the final third. So that was one thing that was missing from DCL. DCL is your typical fox in the box kind of a striker.
Yeah.
You feed him, he'll convert. Whereas Bamford is more of a overall holistic player. He'll bring other players. He himself will score. He'll assist. He'll create chances. So Bamford, yes, Bamford is hard done by.
I think Ben White has replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold, so I think that's one good pick. I feel he deserved a chance, but I somewhere feel sad for Bamford because I feel he definitely deserved over DCL, and yeah, that's one.
And we also have a 17-year-old featuring in Euro 2020 this year, Jude Bellingham from Dortmund. It's been performing
Another
good.
attacking.
Yes, so it'll be exciting to watch him play.
That's true. I think let's now move on to Croatia. I think the big guns are not there. I mean,
They will definitely miss the big guns.
Yeah, Mandzukic and Rakitic aren't there. I think Kamaric has a very good season. I mean, 25 goals in 30 games. Sorry, in 38 games. I think 34 games. Sorry. So I think it will depend on his performance as well. It will be very crucial because I don't think they have a out and out striker whom they can rely on. So I think Kamaric should be crucial this season. Other than that, I think Modric probably the last international tournament or might play one more. I think the FIFA 22 World Cup, considering it's just 1 year away. But I think a lot depends on Perisic. I think Kovacic has also had a decent season. So what do you think on Croatia?
We also have Brozovic and Pasalic from Atlanta who are playing really good. And striker-wise, of course, Kramaric is there, but we can't forget Ante Rebic from AC Milan.
Yeah.
Right. So he's also deadly finisher. So he'll also provide. And also there's an emerging winger whose name is Orsic. He knocked out Tottenham Hotspur from Europa League this season, scoring a hat trick against them.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's been chosen in Croatia squad this year, and we'll have to see how he performs as well.
We have Persic as well. He's one of the big game players.
Definitely.
He has aged, so probably he might not deliver every match around, but yeah, definitely we can count on his experience. And he has had a fairly good season with Inter as well. Have won the league, so his morale will be high. Croatia also has a very good chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And probably this group, I think this is the only group wherein all the four teams have a chance of qualifying for the next round.
Yeah.
And you can't be sure that this team is going to top the table.
Yeah, I think it's better to top rather than to come second, because I think that's that. Because if France tops Group F or Portugal, whoever tops Group F, you do not want to face them except Hungary, and for sure, I don't think Hungary is topping it out, so that's going to be a tough one. I think let's move on to Czech Republic, or okay, I think let's maybe take up
Scotland.
I think Scotland we can go with the last.
Right.
Even they are making a comeback after long.
Yeah.
After 98, this is their major tournament. So even they will be trying to make a mark over here.
Yeah. But I think Czech featured in 2012 or 2008. I still remember Ronaldo scoring 2 goals. I don't remember which year.
Scotland haven't played a major tournament.
Not Scotland.
In the last 20.
Not Scotland.
Oh, Czech. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Scotland.
Yeah. I think we'll go with Czech first. I think then we'll come to Scotland.
Okay.
So I think any important crucial players. I think for me it has to be Sosek.
Thomas
Sosek.
Sosek.
I think he will play a very defensive midfielder, something similar to a role of Declan Rice. What has done, I think, has had a terrific season, and I think that's I think the biggest strength for them, I feel, is I see a lot of 6-foot players, highly physical. So I think if they do qualify, I think they have that advantage, but I don't see them going long. Maybe the round of 16 is the best one, but it's a tough one. So what do you think?
Probably we will be able to see more of Sam Allardyce over here.
Yeah.
Put in long balls and
Yeah, that's true. And I think Schick also has a decent season this time. I think he has scored 13 goals in this season for Bayer Leverkusen. So I think it's important for him to get the ball on target. I think that's any breakout players or anything potentially young players you're looking at in such.
No, but experienced player there is Darida from Hetta, who is the set piece taker as well. So he's like a main playmaker of the team. And yeah, so Sosek is like surprisingly is a defensive midfielder and has scored 10 goals in 38 appearances. So I think all of them must be something that he might have scored heading them into the goal, probably because he's a tall figure and he's an aerial threat. So with Darida setting up the set piece and Sosek and Patrick Schick, people like him in the box, I think they have a lot of aerial threat. So yes, that Czech Republic is like aerial threat, I think.
And I think let's come to Scotland. I think we have quite interesting players to speak about. I think obviously the McTominay and I think Robertson and Tierney and Cooper.
Yeah.
I think all of them are there. I think and McGinn is also there. So and also
Yeah.
not to forget Fraser in the front line. So
Right.
and I think is Charlie Adams also from Scotland?
no, Shea Adams.
Shea Adams.
Shea Adams, okay. Yeah, I think so. Shea Adams is also a decent player to look out for. I think so. They actually have a very decent squad. A bit of underrated players, but I feel they have a pretty good squad, and we can no one can take them lightly. Because I think McTominay is one of the very young good midfielders, which I think Scotland has. And I think with Robertson and Tierney, I think both on the left flank might be an very interesting choice. But considering both kind of a fullbacks, would you try out left back, maybe Tierney or Robertson, one of them in the left wing? Would you try that out?
I would probably try out Tierney in the left side of central defense and put in Robertson, because if you're a fullback, then you'll definitely can be a ball playing defender.
Yeah.
So it helps build up your play as well.
But
Probably
the way
look for
Robertson plays is that he overlaps and he generally goes ahead. And only Tierney from the centre backs is a player to have pace. The rest of them don't have so much pace. And in this group, England's forward have a lot of pace to catch up with them. I think Tierney will have to be a fullback who stays back, who doesn't overlap. And Robertson can be offered a role as a left winger because he does that in Liverpool. So I think he'll do it again here, and he can do it well. So I would do that. I would play Kieran Tierney as left back and Andy Robertson as left winger.
the match between England and Scotland will definitely be an interesting one, because most of the players from both the teams would have played each other a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
each one will know the other player's strengths and weaknesses. So that will be a very interesting match for us to watch.
True, absolutely. I think England first face Croatia, and I think then they have Scotland. So I think the first two matches become crucial more than the one with Czech, because if they have somehow if they have not won even one of them, or if they drew both, then there is high pressure on them on the final match. Okay, I think maybe let's can close with England. I'll give you this one tough choice. Top three players to pick from England.
Top three.
Okay.
Mohit might be thinking who plays them.
No, nothing like that. But Harry Kane would definitely be a player to look out for England. Harry Kane, you have Foden, who has given an excellent performance for City this season. So Foden would definitely be a player to look out for. And one to add for Chelsea would be Mount.
Okay, I was waiting for that.
My first player would be Mount, and second would be Kane, and probably third will be Luke Shaw. He has had a terrific season.
Yes.
So definitely Luke Shaw will be the one to look out for.
So my pick would be Harry Kane, Foden, and Luke Shaw. So yeah, those three players are my favorites from England.
Who will be your choice, Anu?
I think for me it's Harry Kane all along. I just want him to win some trophy. Probably not this one, because I want Portugal to win. But still, I think he
Probably once he leaves Tottenham, he would definitely win some.
Yeah. So I think Harry Kane is such a, because you cannot rule him out. I think he had a terrific season, but I kind of feel the top assist, because you don't see a forward like Kane having so much of assists. But I think they had a terrific start actually. I think Spurs, and then I think Mourinho.
Spurs.
So I think that didn't add up to them, but I think Kane is an important. I think in the 2018 World Cup also, I think most of the goals came from set pieces, almost all of them. So I think Kane played a crucial. I think there was either a penalty or a free kick or a corner.
And Kane was the one to miss the crucial goal against Croatia.
That's I think he would obviously be the pick out of one.
Take player out of Tottenham, but you cannot take out a Tottenham player.
Yeah, and I think my second pick, I think I'll go with Jack Grealish, because I feel he'll play an important role, and if Rashford is fit, he has to play a role. It's important. I would as a manager, I would first try to get a round of 16 and then start using Rashford. Maybe I can still gamble, because I feel Rashford is a very important player. So I would preserve him for the knockouts. That's what I would do. So I think these three are my.
But looking at Southgate's track record, I'm not very sure whether he'll start with Grealish, because he has a tendency to bench Grealish and probably bring out Grealish against some lower opposition.
Yeah.
That's speculation again. I mean, whether he'll start Grealish or not.
Yeah, I think one or two players. I think every team will keep one or two players under the shadow. They'll come as a surprise package in a match which you never expect. I think that's what all the international teams do. And I think
One thing that we missed out on was who are the players to look out for in Scotland?
Scotland. Okay, for me, I think I would go with my first pick as McTominay. I think I believe he's a leader in the midfield, not because I'm a United fan, but I feel he has that ability to control the midfield. We might have not seen of much in United considering. I think he's kind of undershadowed because Pogba is there, Van de Beek is there. I mean, Van de Beek is not done much, but Bruno is there. It's all Bruno and Pogba doing the talking, but I feel he plays a very crucial role in that. I think a perfect replacement for Matic. That's how McTominay has been. So I think he's my first choice in Scotland, and I think second would be Robertson. Again, a terrific fullback. I think as Saurabh told, I think overlapping is something Scotland needs to be careful, because if Robertson is overlapping too much and if teams can, somehow get rid of him, so I think it will be tough for them to, in the back. So I think that would be my second player in Scotland. And I think third one, I'll maybe go with McGinn over Tierney, because Tierney is a fantastic player but not had a good season. And I think McGinn, I feel, had a decent season. I think, and he will be a player to watch out as well.
Yeah, so my pick would be again Andy Robertson for his overlaps and the things that he does in the wing play. And then it would be Karen Tierney. And lastly, I would choose Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay is like, if I had to compare, I would say that he is like Casemiro who plays dead balls. I mean, his finishes that are dead balls, they just go into the net. I mean, defenders can't do anything.
The one that he had against Southampton and the one that he had scored against Leeds as well.
Yeah.
For me, still, I would pick the goal against Henderson. Yeah.
Who?
I think the one he scored against Manchester City. I think he made a mistake. Yeah. So I think that would still be one of the goals. Because that reminded me of Wayne Rooney. And so I think that's one of the goals to watch out for. Mohit, what do you think?
So I mean, who would believe he's a central defensive midfielder?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's the one to look out for in Scotland.
Yeah. The players to pick out for this team would be McTominay for sure, Robertson, and I kind of feel Che Adams should play a major role if they want to qualify, because he at the front has to score for them. I mean, being a striker, so definitely he would play a major role, and if he scores, then definitely a good chance for them to qualify.
Yeah.
And looking at the performance he has had in the league, definitely a player to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that wraps up Group C and D briefly. I think we might have to take out some extra time for the next preview, considering Group F. So
probably one complete session for Group F.
Yeah, but I think before going, I think Spain is in Group E, and I think considering two of them have, I think it was Busquets first with COVID, and I think there's one more player who's gone due to COVID. So they are training an alternative squad. So I think before we go to Group E and F in the next time, do you think there is a comeback for Sergio Ramos, considering the alternative squad being trained?
I would hope so. I would
definitely love
so. Yes.
Ramos any day. I mean,
Ramos is an entertainer.
Yes, of course.
You get him on the pitch and entertainment is guaranteed.
You don't know when you'll get you can expect a goal from a corner.
Header, yeah.
And I mean, he's one of their penalty takers as well.
Yes.
That's true. And most of the penalties would be, showboating, something I think similar to what he's called for Sevilla. So I think it will be an interesting see, but I would definitely want, De Gea or, someone in the goal rather than Kepa, because Kepa is the alternative training who's the alternative goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So
it would be hard. It would be difficult for Kepa to feature. I don't feel Kepa would feature.
We can talk about Spain during their team preview itself.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's not to look out for Spain. I think we'll get more news in the next 24 hours on what's happening around the COVID. Tough situation, but I hope none of especially the minor teams, I would say, I hope they don't get affected, because if a team like France, Spain, they have backups, but if a team like North Macedonia or a team like Ukraine, if they're starting 11, if 1 or 2, 3 players are gone, and I think it would be very tough for them to come up. So I hope that doesn't happen to them. I think that's it. I think we can call it a wrap, and I think let's wait for Group E and F. Very interesting groups again. So I think before we log off, I think It's within 24 hours. So, who do you think is winning the first match?
Italy.
I think we have. I think. Oh, sorry. We have 2 days. I thought it was on 11 June. So we are starting.
No, it's tomorrow night. I think.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Tomorrow night.
effectively
11th
Saturday.
Okay. So I think Italy and Turkey. So Mohit says Italy 9.
Italy.
Italy.
Bangladesh is scoring.
Okay, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I think let's wait. Let's wait on that one. I think we have only one match to kick off with. So I think the first interesting match would be Wales and Switzerland is also interesting, and I think I think England and Croatia will be the one big guns we'll be waiting for.
I'm hoping England finishes first. I want to see them face teams from Group F. It'll be really entertaining. Yeah, hoping. They have a pretty good chance of finishing first, so I hope they do.
They always have a good chance of topping the group.
Yes.
They are like RCB of IPL. So yeah, I think one. Let's
meet in the next preview.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you guys.
See you.
Thank you
Good
for
night.
joining. Good night.